Welcome to SwitchCorner, my name is Alex, and today we're going to be taking a look at my favourite eShop deals covering the US, Canada, UK, EU and Australia. We've got 13 games for you all, some classics, a few newer releases as well, so it's definitely shaped up to be a nice week. Now as always then, we do have two winners to announce for two $10 eShop gift cards later in the video, and two more to give away. To enter, drop a comment down below and the winners, they'll be announced in next week's video. If you do pick anything up then, consider using cornershop.gg for discounted eShop credit. You'll get 5% off at checkout using code CORNER. Lego Bricktales is first up. It's 20% off, a new low, and it is a minimal discount, but it is a newer game, an adventure experience. We visit our grandfather's theme park and it is in disarray. To help him, we must find the parts and rebuild. To do that, we'll be using a teleport machine he created to visit different worlds. Think a jungle, Aztec, medieval. It's out there, but that works perfectly with the Lego name. The gameplay then explores, solve puzzles by building items, and uncover a fair few secrets along the way, including designing your own leader character. We have a robot assistant that helps out along the way, and then there's even a free build mode as well. I enjoyed it, even if the controls can be a little bit awkward at times, but my full review it is in the pinned comments. Dying Light Definitive Edition is back, matching the low with 60% off, and this one, it's still not available in the UK, EU and Australia due to a ban from years ago, so you'll need to region hop or go physical. Incredible game though that they worked on for years, and this port, it is one of my favourites on the system. I think it runs and looks great. A first-person action-adventure, I guess. It's got shooting, parkour, and of course a whole lot of zombies. The story, we are investigating a resistance force in a quarantine zone as an undercover detective. A huge amount of DLC included as well here. That's cosmetics, additional zones, new weapons, 2 new modes, Horde and a Dark Fantasy one, and then the following DLC, which is a whole new location and story. You can find my full review down below. Vigil of the Longest Night on launch had issues, namely crash bugs that were frustrating because there was a great game in here. Thankfully they fixed it up, and this is a often incredibly difficult but rewarding Metroidvania that throws you into a grim gothic world that I just personally really liked. The enemies are out there in their design, and then the Sultan Sanctuary vibe is very obvious, and they do note it as an influence on the eShop description. It's got multiple weapons to experiment with, a decently sized world, and yeah, I just love that visual design that they went with. I think it's really cool stuff. I just wish maybe they'd done more with the story of investigating Eternal Darkness. It feels very much like throwaway stuff. It's matching the low price then, 40% off, but just a final warning, I'm gonna say it again, this one is not an easy game. Pumpkin Jack will be a good option for the 3D platformer fans out there. It's probably one of the best attempts in recent memory to build something that feels like a true throwback to the era of the 64, but with a great visual style, and this world, in my opinion, it is a spot on. Now we are titled Jack, we're helping evil win over good, and along the way we'll get a variety of weapons to experiment with. The locations, they change frequently, and the platforming feels tight. It even has a few puzzles in here where we can pull off our own head and control it independently. The only bit I didn't like, there's a few on-rail sections where you need to avoid incoming obstacles, and they are too trial and error in my opinion. 60% off then, matches the low, and my full review is in the pinned comments. If you enjoy this video today, consider subscribing, helps a huge amount, and here we have content daily, deals videos like this one twice a week, and then it's reviews and lists for the rest of that time. If you haven't already then as well, maybe check out PlayStation Corner and Xbox Corner, same deal over there, deals and review videos, and I've linked both of those below. Appreciate the support as always. But Gaiden is a newer release. I recently covered it in a review roundup, find that video down below. This one, it's a retro-inspired action platformer, and if the name wasn't obvious enough, it's influenced heavily by the Ninja Gaiden series, and then also alongside that, Mega Man. Mega Man because you inherit abilities from taking down bosses, which you can tackle in any order. Ninja Gaiden just because of the movement and the combat style. I liked it a lot though, chunky pixels, a nice enemy selection, and of course a hell of a challenge at the same time. Again, the video is below, but it's 20% off, a new low, but do remember, smaller discount because it is a new release. Little Nightmares 1 and 2 bundle gets 70% off. That matches the low price, but that is a deal I really like. It's some of the better puzzle platformers out there, and these of course have that horror edge to them. I personally thought the second game was the better one. They fine-tuned the controls, but both are definitely going to be worth the time. In the first, we are helping 6 escape a mysterious vessel. In the second, we have 6 and Mono, them investigating a mysterious signal. These worlds are filled with creepy characters. There's also quite a bit of stealth gameplay expected. I've linked my review for the second game in the pinned comment below. Wavetale is another newer release, so a smaller discount, it's 20% off. It has some of the best water-based gameplay of any game out there, in my opinion, at least recently. Now, we live in a world that's been overcome by the ocean, and the people, they're trapped by a mysterious and deadly mist. We've had this somewhat at bay, but now something has gone wrong, and we must protect those around us. We basically, though, gain a power that allows us to walk on water, something we're normally scared of, by a shadowy figure that holds us up. It's just incredibly freeing and acrobatic, and you can just waste time messing around in, of course, a positive way. The problem, though, it is short, maybe 3 hours, so check out my full review in the pinned comment, see if you're going to be okay with the price versus the runtime. 2 Point Campus, but first off, transparently, I've played this game already over on Xbox, but I'm working on a best park builder-esque video right now, so I'm going to be needing to check out this Switch build as well. It's 30% off, which is a new low, but as always, this isn't really a recommendation, rather maybe you'll want to join me for the ride. That said though, I do know the game is a lot of fun. You're building up these campuses in all sorts of unique locations, and it packs a solid sense of humour. Also, I have checked out some coverage of this Switch build, and it's sure, like, you know, it's taken a graphical hit, and there's a few moments of slowdown, but overall it does seem pretty solid. Our first winner of the week, it's going to Andrew, who shouted out Pathless and Swordship, which had smaller discounts, newer releases, and now of course, like I'm sure many of you, are waiting bigger discounts. Congrats Andrew, drop me an email to claim your code, and everyone else, we do have a second winner coming up here shortly in the video. Curse to Golf is one of the more unique roguelikes out there, as we find ourselves struck down dead on the golf course. Now we must play 18 holes to make our way back to the living. These holes, they consistently change thanks to procedural generation, and it gets seriously creative, from trick shots to power-ups such as balls that explode, split into multiple, even boss encounters. It's definitely not an easy game as you would expect, and it's also worth knowing at launch it had a game-ending bug. You got stuck at the first boss, you couldn't proceed, but they have fixed that now, and yeah, I definitely think it is worth a look. The only thing I will add here is I'm still trying to overcome it myself. 25% off then here matches the low price, but I was back on it this week and I was really enjoying my time with it. Dead Cells and Medley a pain bundle, and this is just a quick shout out here. I just noticed it today and it seems like a pretty fair deal to me. A 20% launch discount, but it bundles in not only the base game, one of the best roguelikes out there, but all the DLC, so that's going to be 3 packs, as well as then on top of the Castlevania expansion, which is coming early next month. I figured if you've never played it, maybe it will tempt you in. Also, you can get just the base game and Castlevania on sale for around $10 less. I presume with these purchases, if you pick one up, you can play all content that's already available right now, but no Castlevania. But of course, like anything, there's no guarantees. Sayola 4th is a new one that I've been playing and I've really been enjoying it. I recently lost my day job this week, unfortunately, but this has been a great little relaxing experience to distract me, and I'll be covering it here on the channel in the coming week. A procedurally generated world, there's not a huge amount to it honestly, but having that freedom to explore an open world, it's always fun, and this definitely got my curiosity enough that it kept me involved. We're supposed to be saving this land, but I just kind of wanted to float about, build up a fleet, and occasionally battle pirates, and in that way it definitely succeeds. Now, I did notice some frame rate drops just as a warning, but it's definitely laid back enough that it didn't have too much of an impact. It's 15% off then, and that is a new low price. Our second winner then, they've been battling the takedown and its incredible soundtrack, so drop me an email to claim your code, and everyone else, drop a comment down below for your chance in next week's video. LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga Galactic Edition. I don't often recommend these expanded editions of games, but this one, it's just $6 higher than what we've seen on the base game previously, and it packs in a ton of extra character packs, which I think for fans, you know, that could definitely be worth it. That's some 13 character packs as well, from Solo to the Bad Batch to Rogue One to classics to The Mandalorian. It also helps that the base game is great as well. I was a big fan as you tackle all 9 films with all of your favourite characters and scenes. Really liked the fact as well it had some vehicle based moments. It also did away with the Force Collectathon. It's 55% off, a new low price, but just a warning, those in the UK, EU and Australia, this is unfortunately not on sale right now, but you will at least find the base game for a new low price. Breath of the Wild is our final game of the video, and while it's not a particularly great deal, honestly we have seen it very briefly cheaper in the past. Nintendo celebrated the new Tears of the Kingdom trailer and the announcement of it being $70 for the base game by throwing this one on sale for their usual 33% off. It's a game though that is honestly easily worth full price, we all know that, and you can get 2 editions. We can get just the base game, which is the price you see above, or you can pick up an edition that throws in the expansion pass as well. Also, you can get that expansion pass solo for right around $13–14. It's been out since day one at this game. It remains one of, if not the best game on the system, and if you haven't played it already, it comes highly recommended. And that's the video down. A shout out to the patrons of the channel who are going above and beyond. That support there seriously helps, so I do appreciate it. Will you be adding anything to the collection though? And let me know in the comments. With that, hit subscribe, join us here for reviews and deals daily, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.